Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so talking sell Suns Pels, Suns Pels. Um, Game 5 in this series shifts back to Phoenix, the Valley of the Sun. My favorite floor in the league right now. I really love that whole ambiance of that, the whole get down. But don't love the team at all, and I am rooting for the Pels, as you know. Big Pels, that's what we're calling them on this channel right now because they've got a big lineup, and they're really a bunch of good kids that play defense and are really showing and displaying a certain level of confidence and killer instinct that you should definitely be tuning in to see. It starts with Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram is turning into one of the best young players in the world. He is simply an unstoppable force. If you ask the Phoenix Suns defense, they have no answer for him. All this talk about Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and all these fantastic defensive players that they have on the Suns, it ain't doing nothing to BI's continued onslaught on the perimeter and in the mid-range, slashing at the basket. He's killing them on all three levels, and he's not letting up. Just letting you know right now, he is not letting up. This is going to continue. This is for real. Brandon Ingram has arrived. He's a leading guy, and he's not playing games. But he is showing up, and I'm telling you right now, if they don't do something different, he's gonna have even greater night tonight than he did in the previous nights. That's what I expect. His confidence is growing, his efficiency is there, his legs are underneath him, his health is where it needs to be, and he's coming into his own. He just truly is the player that we thought he was when we drafted him number 2 overall several years back, and he's developed his skills. He uses his length and his point guard skills that he developed early on with Luke Walton, and he's put it all together, and he's ready for the moment. And when you remove a guy like Devin Booker from this series, it kind of shows you exactly who the Suns are, which is a team that may have a bit of an overrated situation going on with their bench. Campaign is a player that I've championed on this channel all season long, because I've told you that when he comes in, if somebody's out, if somebody's injured, he comes in and plays like a star. That's what he's shown me. Not in these playoffs. He has come up absolutely and utterly cold, anemic to personified. I don't know where Campaign is, but there should be an APB out on him. I don't know where yet. Where you go? He's tossing up a lot of shots. Nothing's falling. And he's just not making an impact with the minutes that he's given. And that is not good for the Suns, because that's what they rely upon. They usually have next man up personified going on there. They've had Chris Paul be out. This dates back even to the previous season. When Chris Paul's out, Cam comes in and he goes to work. It's the two Cams, Campaign, Cam Johnson. They just act up when Chris Paul or Devin Booker is out. It's what I expected. It's not what I'm seeing. I like JaVale McGee. He's balling. Got to give him his credit. He deserves to be in a situation where he can continue to win. I thought he was in a situation like that. But apparently the Suns are getting knocked off by the Pelicans. That's exactly what I think is going to happen, too. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm in the mindset that I believe what I see. Herb Jones isn't going anywhere. Jose Alvarado isn't going anywhere. Larry Nance Jr. isn't going anywhere. Jonas Valanciunas isn't going anywhere. CJ McCollum ain't going nowhere. B.I. ain't going nowhere. Devin Booker ain't coming back. I don't know what to tell you. And that's the problem. They need Devin Booker to come back. I'm just going to keep it real. He needs to come back. He is too important to what they do. Chris Paul's on his last leg. And this is his last opportunity to get a championship. I don't think the Suns come back next year. They may be back together next year, but they're not going to be this. They're going to have to take some steps back, because some other teams are going to take some steps forward. And it's just, even if they don't take steps backwards, they still have to deal with other teams taking steps forward. So he needs to win now. And, at the end of the day, I know Devin Booker's hammy. Maybe it ain't good enough for him to go. But I'll tell you this. Every game he's out, they're favored to lose. Simple as that. This is not a drill. The Pelicans are for real. And what I'm seeing is a team that does not care anything about being your friend. It was an infamous moment where Chris Paul was trying to pick up Herb Jones. Herb Jones wasn't having it. You know what I mean? They tried bringing in, Jay Crowder for the good old come in and just be disruptive, murk things up, flop all over the place. They literally turned that on his axis and made him go out, foul out of the game because they were flopping off of him left and right. I mean, this team is so mentally tough. They're smart. They're savvy. They're long. They got shooters. They got closers. They have killer instinct. They have great coaching. This is a real thing. And the Suns have enjoyed being at the top of a Western Conference that has basically been decimated by a mass exodus to the East and an influx of young talent that has made some of the mainstay franchises basically obsolete. This is the weakest Western Conference of all time, and they're at the top of it. That's what I'm here to tell you. I'm not saying they're a fluke. I'm not saying they're not that good. I'm just saying that they have literally not really run into a great team at all because there ain't been none out here. Golden State has been kind of dealing with injuries. They're better now than they've been all season long. The Lakers, they didn't do anything. Look at all the other teams in the Western Conference. The Memphis Grizzlies are really good, but they're barely as good as the number 7 seed as we're seeing right here and right now. And we're seeing the number 8 seed is just as good as the number 1 seed as well, if not better. I believe what I'm seeing is a Pelican team that is better than a Phoenix Suns team without Devin Booker. Now, if Devin Booker's down there without Zion Williamson, the Suns are a better team than the Pelicans. If Zion comes into the series and he's himself, I'm not certain that we're not discovering right now that the Pelicans might actually be the best team in the Western Conference. I know that sounds crazy, but some of these players are waking up right now, becoming who they are right now, and they weren't that 3 months ago. And because that is the case, because Alvarado's for real now, because Trey Murphy's starting to find his confidence, because you got Brandon Ingram now looking like he's going to be a superstar, because CJ McCollum is now a part of this franchise, because this is a new team. And what they've put together may actually be one of the best teams in the Western Conference. If the season were today, I'm not sure the Pels wouldn't be number 1, number 2, or number 3. Like, seriously. Real life actuality could be one of the best teams in the league if Zion comes back and plays for them. So, what I'm telling you is this is not a fluke. I do believe the Phoenix Suns are in trouble. I do believe they're going to lose tonight because I don't think the Pelicans are going to let up. I think the Pelicans are for real. I think they have the right mindset. I think the coach is pressing the right buttons. I think their coach is learning from quick and early mistakes like playing Tony Snell. We ain't seen him since. The best thing he's done for himself thus far. I think Herb Jones continuing to do what he's doing. He's getting healthier. Well, of course he's healthy, but he's getting stronger and getting more and more savvy and smart as these series progresses because he's learning in real time what he needs to do. Larry Nance Jr. and his experience and his abilities is all very complementary to what it is that Valanciunas does in attacking them on the boards and keeping Ayton at bay as best they can because he's eating anyway. But you're just seeing it, man. Even guys like Najee Marshall are stepping in and doing good things with their minutes. I like the Pels. I like the Pels as long as Devin Booker stay out. So Devin Booker's gonna have to come back. I can't stress it enough. Most times I'm like, yo, you gotta, your health, you gotta. But no, he's in a very, very special, sweet spot where you are the right type of, in your prime. Your team is in such a situation where you have a very small window from which to win right now. Your team has sucked for so long. You've stuck with them for this long. They're at their peak. If you can play, you gotta go, bro. Just gonna be honest with you. If he was a little younger or a little older, I'd say no. But you're that right age, that right perfect age where you ain't really need to be holding or waiting out for anything. This is your moment to win your championship. This is the best opportunity you may ever have to win a championship. Right now. You've always been on bad teams, and you're with the Suns, bro. They found a way to get good for a second. I don't know if they're going to be able to continue doing that. If you can go, suit up, bro. And I wouldn't say that to nobody else under no other circumstance because hamstrings and injuries can get worse and things of that nature. But they can't win without that dude. Cam Payne, if he ain't going to play better. Cam Johnson, if they ain't going to find a way to guard Brandon Ingram, get some stops against this man, the Phoenix Suns are going to be one of the biggest disappointments in the NBA. Well, Well, it's a few others that I'm sure will get them, but you get the point. It's a year of teams being disappointing, and that should not be the case with the Suns. That's it. That's it. And I'm gonna tell you something else. I like Monty Williams a lot, but he's getting outcoached. He's getting outcoached in the series. Monty got to find something else out there, man. I don't care if you call Aaron Holiday's number more. I don't care if you have to start a combination of both JaVale McGee and DeAndre Ayton. Maybe you just move some players around some other way. Maybe you put Cam Johnson at the 1 or something crazy like that so you can give yourself a big line. I don't know what you do, but you have got to match up with these Pelicans. They're coming at you, man. They're coming at you. These are big, long players that play defense and stretch the floor. You got the Alvarado kid hounding like a little Patrick Beverly from New York. You need to deal with this team, or they're going to beat you and send you home in the first round, and it's not a drill. Simple as that. It's not a drill. Chris Paul's been great. I don't think he can play better than this. He's not a part of the problem at all. There's nothing about Chris Paul's game that says he's not showing up in these playoffs. There's nothing about Chris Paul's game that says if you put him in a winning situation right now on any of these teams, that he would be one of the mainstays of them winning a championship. You put him on Boston, they're going to win a championship. You put him on any of the teams. But right now, the Suns situation, as good as he's playing, it is not enough. And it ain't going to be enough. Even DeAndre Ayton, eating in the paint, and all this eating he's doing is not enough. They have got to find something out there in the perimeter. Period. They need Cam Johnson to start hitting threes, not just taking them and bricking them. They have to fall. Mikal Bridges, where's your offense, sir? I know you're playing defense, but Devin Booker's out. You got to put some points on the board. It's important for good teams to know when certain players are out what they now need to do to make their team succeed. If you're missing 30 points of scoring, that means you need to make up that scoring somewhere. You can't live without it. If that means you got to give up some defensive plays to make sure you're more available to score the ball, then that is what needs to happen to ensure that you're making up for what's missing. The Phoenix Suns have to understand that concept if they're going to find a way to win this game. Because the Pelicans are going to continue to score the basketball. They're going to continue to crash the glass. Valanciunas is just going to continue to be a monster on that glass, particularly. And they don't have an answer for him. They don't. They are thin in comparison to this Pelicans team. The Pels just have more bigs. You know, Jackson Hayes, Larry Nance, Valanciunas. That's too much. That's too much for them. They only got Ayton and JaVale. And then you're talking about Clark, of whom I think is a solid player, but more so undersized. He ain't going to be no match for those bigs. He barely keep up with Larry. And then you got to deal with the wings, of course, that are also on the floor at the same time. Talking about B.I. and Jones and Murphy. Like, they have so much length. So it almost negates the advantage that the Suns' length would otherwise have with Johnson and Bridges. They don't have as many of those guys as the Pelicans have. I'm telling you, that's why draft picks are so important, people. You can draft these dudes. They're out there. They don't have to be found in the first round. Some of these dudes in the back of the rounds. But they're long. They got the bodies for what it is you need. That's where it's at. If you ain't big, you ain't lasting. And the Phoenix Suns right now, believe it or not, are small. And that's why they're probably going home in this round. Devin Booker would make them overwhelmingly great because he's that lethal of a scorer. You can just add 30 points to the board just because of his presence. That's usually too much to overcome for other teams. But not the Pels scheme. Why? Because they picked him up at Devin Booker. Light. He's not Devin Booker, but he's Devin Booker light. And CJ McCollum. And if he uses the pass more, he'll be better than that. I've been killing PJ McCollum because I know his numbers are up. Everybody's looking at his numbers saying how great he's playing. But nah, hell no. There have been key moments where he has been a detriment to the other players, particularly Brandon Ingram's flow, his rhythm. And I just feel like, they need to live and die with Brandon Ingram and Valanciunas. That is where you're going to win this series. It's going to be on the backs of those two workhorses. Valanciunas in the paint destroying people, Brandon Ingram on the perimeter shooting them down. That is how you win. And the rest is just effort from the guys around them who specialize in effort anyway, so that shouldn't be a problem. This is a winnable series for the Pelicans. This is not a drill. This is a winnable game for the Pelicans. This is not a drill. The Suns' problems are for real. I don't think they can overcome them, even with great play from Chris Paul, so long as those defenders continue doing the same stuff they've been doing. This is real. Pelicans are going to win this game tonight. They're going to win. Unless Devin Booker suits up, they're gonna win. Too big, too good, and Monty Williams doesn't have a clue what he needs to do defensively. And all this great talk about how great they are defensively, and I'm just sitting there, I'm telling you, they're not. I don't think they're a top 5 defensive team in the playoffs right now. They're not. I see a bunch of teams playing better defense than them, including the team they're going against. And that's going to be the story. So long as the Pelicans are playing better defense and controlling the glass, they're going to win. And I think that's going to continue because of everything we just talked about. So, I'll say this. The Suns are going to have to get a big game out of Campaign. He can't continue to lay eggs. He's the difference. Normally, he makes up some of that scoring. He can give you 25. He can give you the steals that Devin Booker may not necessarily give you. He's more of a defensive mind than Devin Booker is. So he's in theory supposed to help there. But if he's going to be a liability scoring the ball, that's lost possessions. What does the defense do if the lost possessions are what the defender is bringing to the table? Negate it. So that's the point. He needs to get better. That's what it comes down to. Him being better. Period. Because if he gets back to what it is that I've been describing for the last year, then he makes up the difference every 5. So I don't think that's going to happen, honestly. I'm calling him out, but I don't see that happening. I think that the Pelicans have done something to him. I think they've identified that nature and they've neutralized it, which I think is a testament to Willie Green. So if they're continuing to hound him with those defenders when he gets in the game, nothing. Also, Chris Paul's going to have to dish the ball more. More assists, more. You got to get Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson easy buckets. They can't create for themselves, especially Mikal. He's good at being the recipient of plays where he's cutting to the rim, cutting in the lane, getting out in fast break. He's excellent at that. But if you're asking him to catch the ball in the triple threat and then create for himself, that's not his game. He's being asked to do that stuff without Devin Booker. It's up to Chris Paul and Campaign to get him in positions to score easy buckets. That's very important because Mikal Bridges is putting up 8 points. He can do all this stuff defensively, but as we said, if he's not scoring, it's not helping when they don't have Devin. So all these different issues, man. Monty Williams, if you're that great coach, man, you're gonna have to figure this out, and you have to figure it out fast, and you're gonna have to instill in your team somehow a fight that matches that ferociousness that comes from them two, Jones and Alvarado. Man, they are just relentless. It's like dealing with 2 Patrick Beverleys at once, and you are going to have to deal with what comes with them as well. So, yeah, man, CJ McCollum, just trust and believe. The only way you're truly going to win is if you rely on the guys that are supposed to be your superiors on that team, man. I know you're a score-first player, and I also know you know what I'm saying is the real deal. You're a detriment to some of them guys out there when you're looking for your shot, and that is bad for a young team that's trying to win a playoff game. They don't know what they're doing. They can't deal with that and the opponent as well. As long as you're scoring efficiently, it can be a plus, but at the end of the day, rhythm, I'm telling you, that's what's going to win you the game. When guys are in rhythm and they believe in themselves, that's what's going to win you the game. Because when you're scoring like 25, 30 points, guess what's going to happen when the game closes in? The defense is going to crowd you out. And where's that ball going to need to go? To those other guys in order for you to succeed. And if they haven't been getting in their rhythm, they're going to brick those clutch shots, and it's going to be your fault. Heed what I'm saying. I watched Kobe for 20 years. Heed what I'm saying. So that's what I got to say, man. My name is BDF44. I thank you all for putting up with me. Enjoy the game, and I'm out.